Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
We're all late on a Tuesday evening on November 23rd, and we all couldn't be less excited to talk soccer as we just watched Orlando City play terrible defense and knock themselves right out of the playoffs against Nashville. No, not knocking Nashville, but having a good offense is one thing. Having a terrible defense is another, which is exactly what happened in there, that goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that we play, not that we have bad defenders or whatnot, but it was a very poor defense tonight, not helped out by a few in midfield, and just Nashville's a tough place to go. Every game we played with them this year has been draws, and it just didn't.
And I mean, the quote that summed up that goal I saw on Twitter was, "And they waltzed in, like literally waltzed in." So yeah, there's that. So woohoo! But hey, thankfully, we've got other soccer to make Ferris feel better.
Yeah,
it's his wonderful Man United, and
I guess so.
My Arsenal having a great weekend. So we've just had a good week in soccer. Good week.
Yeah. Actually, we have.
Ron is just doing Skippy.
Chelsea just flying high right now.
Yep.
Champions of Europe.
That's our show, guys. That's a wrap up of the week of soccer.
Thanks for either start this over
to
or
the
wrap
Brewtiful
up the
Game. Okay. The first good news is we get to start with our beer before we roll over to the soccer news. So let's do our beer picks, gentlemen. Ron's up in PA, so we're recording this one remotely again. Ron, did you snag a local Pennsylvania beer?
Oh, did I ever? So, like Blake said, I'm visiting family up here in Pennsylvania, and it's the central Pennsylvania area, which Blake is also very familiar with. There's a lot of craft breweries here, and the one I picked is a brewery from 1996 in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That's when it was started anyway, by two brothers, John and Chris Trogner. They came up with Troegs beer.
Troeg.
Troegs beer. And they're a pretty great brewery. So they started in Harrisburg, but they've been in Hershey, the sweetest place on earth, since 2011. And I have picked up their Perpetual IPA, which you guys can see in the camera right there.
Wow, their can art has changed so much. That's not the style they used to go for at all.
Yeah, I think they became a little more mainstream. This one is 7.5% ABV. It is 85 on the old IBUs if you're charting at home. And it's got quite an array of hops in it. Bravo, Chinook, Mount Hood, Nugget, Citra, and Cascade, all in this tiny little can.
Mount Hood.
Now, Ron, the thing that they are the most famous for that people who may not live there would be familiar with would be their Mad Elf Christmas beer.
That is correct.
So here's the deal. I feel like if you're in PA right now and we're about to hit the month of December, you need to bring some Mad Elf back for Ferris to try. We can do that.
Yeah,
one of our December episodes.
I mean, you can just spoil the surprise.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, we definitely
Come on,
need to
Blake.
do that. Well, I'm getting excited because all the holiday beers just started popping up. And I was like, oh, Troegs, Mad Elf. We got to try. It's barley wine, right?
Yes.
Is that what that one is? I think, yeah. Yeah. Which have we done a barley wine on the show?
Yes.
We have. Okay.
Yeah. It's got a kick on it like a mule.
Like a Christmas donkey. Hee-haw, hee-haw, Dominic the donkey.
Who is it? It's
Dominic the donkey.
Dominic the donkey.
Yeah.
How was I thinking
Italian.
Felipe the donkey?
No, it's Felipe the donkey.
I don't know. That didn't quite come out the tongue. And I was like, wait, what was it?
Not in Italy.
Yeah, he's Italian Christmas donkey.
He's the Italian Christmas donkey because for some reason the reindeer can fly, but for some reason they can't climb the hills of Italy, so they need Italian Christmas donkeys.
Of course they do.
Yeah. I mean,
makes sense to me.
What it is.
I'm in.
So if you are following along at home, the song is Dominic the Donkey, and it is a Italian Christmas tradition. So get on your Spotify or your Apple Music and look up Dominic the Donkey. You're welcome. So Trogs Perpetual IPA. It's like I said, it's quite a robust beer from the hop profile, 7.5% ABV, and I'm excited to give it a whirl.
So sorry. I have to derail this just a second. I thought to myself, you said this got a kick in the mule like a donkey, and that's what led into the about Mad Elf from Trogs. Sure. So then I typed in just now, I wonder if someone makes a beer called Dominic the Donkey. Like that would Christmas beer. That'd be smart, right? Well, I clicked it. I'm just going to read the title to the first thing on the Google search when I type that in. Are Jingle Bells and Dominic the Donkey good sex songs?
Oh my God, that's funny.
Nothing like hee-haw, hee-haw. That's the Dominic the Donkey.
So anyway, Merry Christmas. There you go. That was a little gift. That was a little gift that we got right there. I was dying.
Oh man,
I was just looking
a good sex song. Yeah. Oh my God, that's funny.
Pain wasn't. I can't even. Nope. We try to keep the show somewhat reasonable. Excellent. I can't wait. I'm excited you're doing a Trogs beer, man. God, I drank so many Trogs beers when we lived in PA.
Yeah, I haven't had much of theirs because they really came to popularity kind of after I left the state. So I'm just catching up on the Trogs wave.
I think I say I had a bunch. Really, it was always at Christmas time. It was the Mad Elf. That's what I remember having. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
What local Florida brew do you have, Ferris?
Well, I do have a local Florida brew.
That's what we count on.
And since Manchester United has been a horror show, I have a beer from Angry Chair Brewing in Tampa, Florida. Probably one of my favorite, if not favorite beers. They do a lot of has a little bit of a horror theme to theirs, and they name a lot of their beers after cryptids and those type of things. And what I have is the Rake. It is a double dry hopped Imperial IPA with Mosaic and Citra at 8%. If you do not know what the Rake is, just type it into the old Googles. It is not a sex song that you can play at the holidays. The Rake is a monster in the online horror fiction genre. It is depicted as usually a tall, hairless, pale humanoid creature who generally crouches or crawls on all fours. And you can
that's creepy looking.
See various home videos of possible Rake sightings and this, that, and the other. If you believe in that sort of thing, but if you haven't been to Angry Chair, it is a super cool brewery in Tampa. It's one that is they do a lot of stouts, but they do some really good other styles. Like I had a what was it? Was it Berliner Weiss with Earl Grey tea? I mean, they do some interesting stuff. You say, what is Angry Chair? Angry Chair has excuse me. Everyone has an angry chair, even if you don't think you do. You do. Trust us. You don't like sitting in traffic after a long day at the office. That's your angry chair. You can't stand listening to people talk while chewing on their food. That's your angry chair. You have one spot of hair on your head that just stands all up at all crazy matters of the day. How much you gel it and what you put into it. That's an angry chair. Angry chair is a symbolic. The angry chair is symbolic of a place, time, or situation that you have experienced. It is something you have to overcome and something that sparked a change in your lifestyle. Your angry chair is unique and is something only you can conquer.
I love that.
I like
Tampa, Florida.
I like that. The can art is pretty great on that too.
Yeah, it's a creepy black and gray with this pale white claw coming across, long nails, and I didn't even know what style it was at first. I had to like Google it because it doesn't say it anywhere on the can. It just says the rake.
Yeah. Oh, kinda interesting. Cool. Maybe you have to go do some homework.
Exactly. Angry Chair Brewing at Tampa, Florida.
What do you got there, Blake?
All right. Well, I hope this pans out okay for me. I am experimenting a little bit. I have in my hands, because it's Thanksgiving is in a couple days, and I got my turkey brining right now in some maple syrup and bourbon before I cook it. So I got a beer from kind of wrapping up the end of my fall beers that I have. I had a few left that I hadn't tried yet. So I got this beer from O'Fallon Brewery, which is in St. Louis County, Maryland Heights, Missouri. This is their maple bacon pumpkin spiced beer.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Or pumpkin spiced red ale, I should say. This pumpkin red ale has a rich malty backbone of toasted caramel candy sweetness. We used a blend of smoky malts from Weyermann Malt in Germany and a touch of salt to achieve a soft, natural smoked bacon flavor that balances with the sweet caramel notes. We had real pumpkin in the mash and natural maple to the finish to round out the pumpkin candied bacon theme. This is either going to be rad or hard to drink.
One of the two.
It is not going to be something that sits in the middle at all, where you're like, okay. So that's where it's a bit of an experiment. I think it's why it's been sitting in my fridge too. These are all flavors that sound very good on their own. And we'll see what happens.
Combined.
Yeah.
We're going to find out.
You guys have much more
on the Brewtiful Game.
You definitely have much more guaranteed good beers, I believe.
All right, shall we?
Here we go. It smells like pancakes and bacon in here as soon as I open that.
It smells good, but it will taste good.
It is super dark brown. Even though it's a red ale, it almost looks more like a Newcastle or something.
Man, mine is a very pale straw color, which is interesting for an IPA.
Yeah, it is interesting. Mine's nice, exactly what you think of a double dry hop double IPA, just cloudy as all get out.
I guess
look how clear that is.
Yeah, man.
Wow,
it reminds me of like a stone IPA.
It looks like a Pilsner with the
yeah.
All right, guys, it doesn't have a lot of carbonation. I mean, it smells like candied bacon. I'm a little nervous about this one.
Well, shall we?
Here we go. Cheers.
Gambe.
How you doing there, Blake?
That's a lot going on. I mean, right now, it's like I just ate an Eggo waffle. Like it's very much got the aftertaste is definitely maple. It's got a harsh nose on it. It's not blowing my mind, but it's also not awful.
Oh, it's proving you wrong. It's right in the middle.
It's in the middle. It tastes like it smells like fall. It tastes like not that. Okay, when you first drink it, this is weird. I wish you guys were here for this one. It does not taste good when it hits the tongue. You're literally like, nope. It is literally the aftertaste immediately makes it better because it's so sweet. And
that's interesting. Like normally it's reversed, right?
Yeah, right. But this is like
normally it starts pretty good.
Oh yeah. I don't know, guys. We'll see. The way this thing sits on the back of the throat is it possible to have two different aftertastes? The first one is very maple. The third one is, I don't know. This beer should be called All Fall, All Balls.
How about yours, Ferris?
Mine's exactly what you think of a double dry hopped imperial IPA that, mosaic and citrus. Is that what I said? But it's just a nice, good taste and classic, imperial that's not too crazy on either end of the hop spectrum or the fruity, piney notes. It's like nice little balance there.
Right.
So it's quite tasty.
This one is not, with the malt profile that I read, it's not as aromatic as I expected it to be. It's a little subdued there, but it's very kind of pine needle, spruce tips, grapefruit kind of tastes, with just a very underlying malt sweetness. Nothing too crazy. So I think this is pretty much right down the line for, a typical American IPA. It's not amazing. It's not terrible. It's right down there. It's kind of what you would expect, less aromatic, but it's good. It's good and drinkable.
Nice.
I have turned the corner on this one.
Oh, that means it's gotten worse.
Yeah, this is going to taste terrible the warmer it gets. I can already tell.
Oh yeah.
It smells like rubbing alcohol and smoke. That's what it smells like. Oh. And then there's this lie of maple, like aftertaste. That's like, no, it's fine. God bless America.
Just kind of tricking you there.
All right, I haven't had a bad one. I don't want to say bad, man. It's not bad. It's just I don't know.
That might be the beer that I have after you read this next
here we go.
Headline with some news on the pod.
All right, let's move on to the Premier League, ladies and jelly spoons. Here we go. Top 4 headlines around the Premier League. Manchester United, number 1, kicking it off. Ferris throws down the big news of the week. Manchester United suffered yet another humiliating loss on the weekend, but this time to relegation favorites Watford. The 4-1 defeat at Vicarage, which was barely a battle as the Reds were 2-0 or down at the half, 2-0, and following a 69th red card from captain Harry Maguire, the Hornets piled on 2 more, making it 4-1. This 5th defeat in the past 7 league games turned out to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's final for Manchester United, as the United board the next day said Ole is no longer at the wheel.
Ole out.
Here you go.
I mean,
which he had to be.
There was no way, man. If you felt it 2 down at the half, even if you guys came back and drew, I thought he was gonna be gone.
A lot of United fans out there are going to go, what the hell took so long, right? Like, why do you wait 3 weeks after, a 3-0 loss to Man City following a few weeks earlier, 5-0 to Liverpool, and, you lose to Leicester in that time. This was the decider? Like, yeah, this was the decider if maybe all of those other things hadn't happened in the past month and a half. But why? Now, for me, that's the cutthroat kind of hard side of things, right? Now, if I take a step back and look at a more human side of things and a more what Ole did the time that he was there, the club really showed him a lot of respect. Now, whether that was from the sentiment value of it, whether that was from, that he was a club legend and still left in that manner, they gave him respect. They gave him funds. No other manager has spent what he spent over the past several years that he was in charge. And they gave him the confidence. They said, we're going to back you. Even during earlier Ole out and last year, they backed him. So
can I go back to your comments when he first was brought on?
Sure.
You were like, this is a really good interim, but I don't think they should sign him. I actually think I was the one who was like, go for it. Why not go for it? And it's interesting to see how it played out, because he did, Jose Mourinho, he goes into a club, you can win sometimes. He did get Man U up to second, right? Yeah. And then it's like he tosses a hand grenade in the locker room. And Ole definitely came in retrospect, he would have been the perfect interim manager for that year, in that he calmed the dressing room down. He got it where it needed to be. And I mean, I don't know if he had a different staff around him or something. I don't know. But it sucks because in retrospect, he could have done that and they could have gone for a different manager. But I don't think this is his fault. To me,
no.
This is so mishandled by Man United. Do you guys know what happened with his staff like 3 weeks ago? Man United is going to pay millions of pounds out to his coaching staff because they signed them all to extensions 3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, they signed the entire in the off season. It's
no. 3 weeks ago, not him. He got extended. They gave him an extended offer. But I'm talking about his staff. 2 to 3 weeks ago, they just extended their contracts when they knew.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing that at all.
Yeah, when they knew that this was about to end.
Well, and here's the thing. What Ole did was he was that. You're right. Jose came in. He threw a hand grenade. Did we win some silverware during that time? Yes, but he essentially left the club in shambles with the wake of his misery that he brings to clubs. What Ole did was he rejuvenated the club, rejuvenated the youth program. It's that hasn't been as strong as it has been in years. He started to bring in a core, and he had an idea, a young English style core, and we essentially have that. The players are there. The players are just as good as anybody in the Premier League for most positions across the league. It's his plan. Some say could have been derailed with the signing of Ronaldo. Not quite what he was going for, and the plan kind of derailed the entire thing. But that's besides that, he's a people manager. He's well liked by the players, the club, the staff. He kind of brought back a little bit of those Sir Alex days, and he left in that manner. But tactics wise, very inept.
Yeah,
just not there. There are times where
that's what I'm saying.
Everybody at home is saying
he's not the only one, though. So I found one of the articles here about this.
Yeah, I've an article on it too. I was just gonna.
Yeah, last month, they signed Michael Phelan signed a new contract, and then shortly after, the rest of the coaching team, including Michael Carrick, the new caretaker boss, were all, and the goalkeeper coach, first team coach, they all were just they extended offers. So if they get a new manager that wants they're going to pay them so much money. So that to me
possibly
says $38 million if they bounce him.
So
right,
but that to me says I don't even care about Ole. I care about him as a person. This is the problem. Whatever that is. Like whatever that back room.
And Woodward, who they're talking about, is going to be extended now while they search for another interim. And to fire Ole with no seemingly plan?
Yes, no plan.
Now, I like Carrick a lot. He was one of my favorites for the team. But does he have the technical? I mean, he dropped Bruno today in the Champions League for what? There was no creativity in the squad for the entire first half. Bruno gets inserted, and all of a sudden we scored 2 goals. That's not coincidence. Why didn't he start to begin with? Just because you're trying something different? The Champions League isn't the time to try something different. Try that on the training pitch.
Especially when you really need a solid win.
Phelan's been there and will probably, die in a box there because he was there during the Sir Alex days, and I was surprised that he wasn't named that, And Ole got a lot, got very kind of a weird scenario. Ole got an exit interview, but not like at your job where you sit down with HR and you talk through, can I have the company cell phone back and do you have any documents? No, it was like a so how was your time here? And I got it from a human aspect, and it was nice that he got that, and there's still respect for him and the club, and they put out a very good statement, and they showed him a lot of respect. But
the video was
when
good.
The have you seen that from any other club and manager? You sack, you leave, you get your payout, and you go live in Mallorca, Spain, or something for 6 months. So there's a lot of questions as to what the hell United, is doing. You can obviously question Woodward. You can question the board. You can the Glazers. You can not only question their hairstyles that they have, but you can question their decisions on a lot. Now, I'm not going to bash the Glazers terribly much. I'm not a fan that is going to rail into them 100%. I'll back it up to about 65% because, listen, they provided funds to the team. They've, it hasn't. We've spent just like it. It's not like the lack of that. Now, I haven't been to the stadium. I heard there's a lot they have to do with the stadium. They haven't upgraded that in years. It's fallen apart, yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of things that they haven't done. They sat down with the fans in the offseason, and hopefully all of that gets worked out. But the mismanagement here is now you sack him, and now we're going, well, we just gave Carrick a contract. Let's make him. Let's look for another interim. Maybe we'll get Laurent Blanc in here for the end of the season as a caretaker. Maybe we'll get Valverde, I saw today, as a caretaker. And then maybe in the offseason we can get Poch or Eric.
Or you could get another club. Or you get another club legend for your interim. Get Stevie Bruce, baby. Get him in there. Get him some Man United pies and let
Stevie Bruce. Abso-freaking-lutely. Hey, I tell you what, if he comes in, we'd be a hell of a lot better at defense, at least.
Yeah, I mean, you're not kidding. Actually,
been shambles, but there's no plan. That's the most frustrating thing. Do I like Carrick? Do I like Ole? Do I like the? Yes. But what the f***'s the plan?
Right.
Somebody that makes a ton more than us three combined 4 times over should have some semblance of a plan. Not all of a sudden, well, who's out there and who can we get? Well, we might have to delay it. So now we'll get a caretaker to come into the rest of the year, and then we'll try to bring in somebody like Poch in the offseason.
What's interesting about this is that, and I don't mean this as an insult, but Manchester United has not been doing well for quite some time. So to not have a plan by now, knowing that your chances are pretty good that Ole can't turn it around. Why don't you have a plan in place by now?
And there were options on the table.
I think they did with Ole. I really do think. People were wondering what. Now, the question was, what style of play are you doing? 100%, what's the style of play, right? What is your style of play? I don't think that's part of the reason why he failed. But the culture and the core and the philosophy that he was trying to do, young talent, homegrown talent, let's bring those in, right? And that was brought in with
sorry,
Smith at goalie.
Hold on. I mean, you know that you're going to eventually fire Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Well, why isn't there a plan to replace him? That's what I mean.
After finishing second in the league last year, they gave him an extension in the offseason. So
yeah, but he's been tanking since the beginning of the season.
But there's been improvement each year. We were a David De Gea taken penalty away from winning a trophy that managers have to win in order to show success. We were 1 kick away and 10 penalty kicks from bringing a trophy in, and we've got second in the league last year. So, not the worst. In the 3 years he's been
but that was last year. This is a league that is all about what have you done for me lately.
Right, but we also don't want to be a Watford that fires a manager every 4 months, and now we have to change the style every time.
They should he brought a lot. They should have had a better plan.
Well, I think they should have had a better plan as of a month ago.
Yeah,
after the last international break.
That's my point.
Now, yes, but not in the past year or so, because there was a plan. That plan went to complete in the last month and a half. But now to seemingly sack him, after this loss, and Watford deserve it. They trounced United in the first half, which has been a majority of teams this year. But to then sack him and go, all of a sudden it's because of what? Oh, we lost to Watford. Now we have to sack him? Not getting blown out at home by your 2 biggest rivals 2 weeks on the bounce. Yes, we're on to that point. That 100%. That's kind of we're kind of like circling around here, but the mismanagement is baffling.
So before we move on, who do you think are the top, from Vegas odds makers? Who do you think are the top 3 contenders for the Manchester United job?
Pochettino, number 1.
Is he number 2 or number 1 right now?
Say what?
I think he's number 2. That's my vote.
I think he's number 1. I think Zidane was our number 1 choice, but he's not going to come. Eric, how am I saying that?
What's the dude's name?
Eric Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Is probably number 2, and then number 3. I don't know.
I think we should put Zidane because they still may.
But Zidane, I don't think wants to come. He pretty much said that he wants the France job. What I think could happen is Laurent Blanc, who also played at United, could come in as caretaker while they look for Poch. Now, a lot of news was surfacing today that some comments that Pochettino has made over the past few weeks, that there's a lot of various other things back at house at PSG that are going on when you have the likes of Neymar and Messi and so on and so forth.
We talked about that last week, about having to be a babysitter to all these players' entourages.
Right. All these so they're egos. Talking that, and then PSG might go after Zidane. So news is going to come and fly and change so quick. Now, if you get Poch, that's not a caretaker, right? That you're bringing him in at least on a 2-year to a 3-year to maybe a 18-month like Conte. But he already has a club. Eric Ten Hag already has a club. There's not a whole lot up that they don't have clubs. So it might be smart to wait until the summer to then see what you can do. It might be. But the way that it's been so poorly mismanaged thus far does not instill confidence in United fans that that's the case.
So here, Blake, did you want to guess?
I would say it's I think it probably is. I think it's Ten Hag. Why do I say his name right?
Eric Ten Hag.
Ten Hag. Pochettino, then Zidane. I think it's changed in the last day. That's where it's at.
So this report was written this morning in the UK. Zinedine Zidane.
Still the bookies.
Michael Carrick. And Brendan Rodgers.
Oh, the Rodgers in there. Yeah.
I just don't see that one.
Ten Hag is 1, 2, 3, 4. He's 7th or 6th.
I don't like that.
And Pochettino's not even on the top 10.
Yeah, he's fallen off a lot of the people's radars.
Poch and Ten Hag. Ten Hag's my number 1. I would like him in. Poch, if he comes in, perfectly happy. Zidane comes in, perfectly happy. Braj, to have the Braj and just be kind of weird, but okay.
I just don't think. Look, Leicester.
No, he cannot be Carrick. We've already gone through this.
The slip that Leicester is on right now, to me, if you brought in the Braj and you continue to slip at Man United, it would just look another bad call. Because right now, I like him and all, but Leicester's they're having a bit of a struggle.
If Carrick stays on until the end of the year, okay, I might be able to get behind that while they search, because I don't think Carrick's going to do leaps and bounds. Did we qualify for the final 16 of the, did we qualify for the knockout stages today with a 2-0 win against Villarreal? Man United, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we did. So we qualified, and Carrick's first time at the helm.
Who you played?
Go ahead, you played.
Get out! Get out, Man United! Get out!
Well, they may be back in the Europa League, or they may not even make it at all because
I only get
team coached by Unai Emery.
I only get to use that as much as I can. So
they couldn't even beat a piss poor Man United team at home with Michael Carrick as interim manager. You suck. Get the hell out of here. Anyways. Can we move on from my blood pressure starting to rise?
Starting to rise?
I'm glad it's still going. I thought you'd just be like comatose at this point from it all.
I'm getting there.
Okay,
I slightly.
I know we have to roll on. I do want to circle back to just one thing that you did say earlier, and I think Ron and I threw this out. This signing of Cristiano Ronaldo, I was like, watch this be the end of Ole, because it doesn't feel like he was brought in on a plan. It like, oh, he's available, let's get him in. And if he doesn't do, because I think it was our argument of who would get canned first, Arteta or Ole. And I was like, yeah, but now that you got Ronaldo and all these people, if you don't deliver, you don't have like a team rebuilding excuse or anything like that to live on. Like, I feel like you have to deliver now at this point.
And the other thing is Ronaldo like, please get me out of here?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Him and Harry Kane going to go start their own club somewhere. The I want to get out of here club.
Right. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here.
And it's called Newcastle United.
Yep. All that money. Oh, there it goes. Well, speaking of clubs like Newcastle that have new managers, new managerial success reigned across the league on Saturday as Ferris's favorite player, Steven Gerrard, in his match with Aston Villa secured a late 2-0 win against Brighton, while former manager of Villa, Dean Smith, brought sunshine to Carrow Road as he earned the Canaries a 2-1 win over Southampton behind a 79-minute header from Grant Hanley.
Both good matches.
Yeah,
good matches. Good solid wins on debuts. Really good wins for both teams.
Both teams getting that great manager bump, right?
Yep.
Because you didn't make, Dean Smith didn't make any changes. Stevie G didn't make any, mind-numbingly amazing changes to get this. It's just the new manager bump where the players are like, I got to play my hardest and I've got to, play as a team so that I can make sure that I have a gig.
Yeah, I actually think the most impressive one out of the list is Dean Smith, because he's the one that I still don't know that look, Aston Villa, like, they won their match with Steven Gerrard, and I get that, but it felt weird all that Dean Smith had done for them. So for him to walk into Norwich, who are, not doing well, and win, and you're like, man, if Dean Smith managed to save them from relegation, does he become manager of the year? Can you be manager of the year if you get fired, but then go to like the team that is guaranteed relegation? And if he managed to pull pull
them out, right,
he'd be mine.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
It would be interesting. I think the better win, actually, as painful as it is the Steven Gerrard, because Norwich were already riding a bit of a high because they won the game right before the break. Villa's looked like complete crap, and they beat a Brighton team who was just recently in the top 4, a very stingy Brighton team. Now, they did have a few injuries, Brighton, and didn't have their full squad, and Villa left it late, but that's a bump for them. And I think both will see a little bump, but I don't know if that bump's enough to carry either of them into, European success or
we have to keep this pod going for at least 5 more years for the moment that Steven Gerrard has successfully captained them for a while as the manager, and then Klopp is ready to go leave Liverpool. Stevie G takes over Liverpool, and we get to see Ferris's head explode if a Steven Gerrard led Liverpool manages to beat a Man United.
Oh my! He was at. I don't want to even go into it. There was this weird thing that I had saw on Instagram or something where it was like, who was it? So, United beat Tottenham, their manager sacked. Tottenham beat Villa, their manager sacked. Villa beat Norwich, their manager was sacked, and all of those managers then went around and then back to Ole being sacked from getting sacked. It was this weird, like,
that's
they all had
round robin.
They all kind of fired each other and then moved on to the next. It was I have to try.
It's like musical
on the internet. Yeah, it was just like it was boom, 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 and they all kind of. It was weird, but no, both very, very good wins for each of those clubs.
I just I don't know too. Obviously, we'll have to look at it off the pod. We'll look this up and talk about it maybe next time. But how often is it you have someone like Dean Smith get fired and literally jump back into the Premier League within a week or two, a few weeks, and have another team to manage? You know what I mean? I feel like that doesn't happen very often.
I mean,
I feel like that happens more and more lately.
Nowadays.
I don't think that happened, 10 years ago, but I feel like that has happened more and more in recent years.
I guess that it's in this case the firings all happen on top of each other, so these shifts happen very quick.
Yeah, and there's not that many people out there that don't have jobs or that are wanted. Like Big Sam's not really talked about anymore. Steve Bruce after his, you're not really, like those Bruce, ones that were always kind of like brought in.
But don't forget
aren't
Steve
really
Bruce
doing that anymore.
He just told the media he is pitching for. He's like, "Give me Man United." He said that. Oh my gosh!
Good Lord,
that would make me so happy. And he's the one who wants it.
I give it to him. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah,
true.
It's Steve Bruce, very keen to stabilize Man United dressing room as an interim manager. That's his. Yeah, that's exactly.
I'd rather
what he
stick
said.
with Carrick. My God, does he look good in a suit, eh?
Yeah.
I really hope you guys get Pochettino.
I'd be okay with it.
I would too. He said completely smuggish. Poch don't win nothing. That's cool. You can be with him. All right, moving on to, he can't win with PSG. Number 3 of our top 4. Liverpool put 4 past Arsenal, bringing them back down to reality at Anfield. At 0-0, sidelines got spicy as Bond villain Arteta and smiling German got into a sideline tit for tat with each other. That seemed to be the spark to fully ignite the goal to follow from Liverpool. No tie flipping, just some angry yelling at each other back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
That was
and the play wasn't even that dirty.
And a lot of gritted teeth.
Yeah,
they weren't happy with each other.
And they both weren't happy so fat. Like you were trying to watch it, you try to go, who really started this? And they both erupted there on the sideline. Like, oh,
something had to be said beforehand, or they had to be kind of chirping back and forth from their boxes, because the play wasn't overly dirty, and it's hard for me to say, not being a Liverpool fan, but like Sadio Mane has every right to go up for the ball, and when you jump, your elbows are up. I didn't think he threw a bow. I thought, if you want to call a foul, okay, but I didn't think it was overly dirty. He wasn't, he didn't throw it like LeBron threw one the other day or anything like that.
Ooh,
like it's,
but something's up, right?
I'm usually the first one with a Liverpool challenge to be like, those dirty SOB, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I know, there's a whole lot in that. And all of a sudden, like, the managers are about to step into a ring. Like, they were heated.
No, I'm with you. Something happened. Something happened prior. I know we're trying to move along to keep us on schedule, so I will be the one that will keep us from going into such an Arsenal vortex as can be, and just say that my only takeaway was, wow, no one really talked about a shellacking from Liverpool because Man United lost 4-1 to Watford. It removed this.
Getting sacked, yeah.
It removed it. Now, of course, losing to Liverpool 4-0 as opposed to Watford is a very different team to lose to. I didn't think we were going to win. It would have been nice not to lose that much. So I just was like, we're still in 5th. We've managed to get enough points that we're still in 5th. So, okay, live, learn, young dudes. And let's go to the next match and move on.
Yeah.
Which that's a very different place for an Arsenal fan to be in right now.
You're the only team in the top 6 with a negative goal differential.
Yeah. I still think there's trouble looming for Arsenal. That's.
What do you mean? Still think the trouble is ongoing.
Oh, because we lost to Man City and Liverpool, 2 great teams.
Well, but same to United.
You lost to Watford.
We're both. Yeah, but okay. It snowballed quickly when Maguire got sent off. It was, Watford deserved to win the game, but Liverpool, as we've talked about on the pod before, Arsenal have beaten.
Our average age is 24.
Burnley, Norwich, and Newcastle, a goal to nil each, and you guys play. No, you beat. I don't remember who you beat, but you played Newcastle. You play the bottom club, which will probably win.
Dude, you are forgetting history where Wenger walked into so many Champions League by losing to every top 6 team, but beating everybody else.
Wenger is also a nutbag. He wants World Cup every 2 years.
I mean, hey, if he says it's probably a good idea. You should listen to him.
Oh,
freaking Arsenal!
Now I know you're drunk.
I'm not drunk, but I might be poisoned. This is I'm getting through it, but as it gets warmer, oh god, I just picked up the can. There's so much left in it. I'm doing it. All right, number 4. Antonio Conte gets his first win with Tottenham Hotspurs following a dreadful first half where he and the team were booed off the pitch at the half. Come behind 2-1 victory irritated a patented 2-1 victory initiated a patented Conte sideline match whistle celebration. He went bonkers over there, and
I thought he was going to burst a vein in his head.
Yeah,
right.
It was fun to see. But I'm going to make this all about Man United again. If they manage to win in the season above Man United, the fans are going to lose their minds because Conte was there to be taken.
Possibly. I don't think that's going to happen. But I mean,
do you want to double or nothing on your bet? Because we didn't even bring that fact up, Ron.
Hey, listen, you want to double? No.
Right,
but that means I at least save drinking poor beer until May. So.
No, don't you worry. Ferris lost his bet. He's got to drink a Moose Thunder, but we can't find any around here.
Oh no. Don't worry.
But Ron, traveling as he does, may have located the Holy Grail.
Some. I got it and shipped it to Blake.
If you, I understand if you find Butternuts Hefeweizen, that's really gross. So if we need any other future beers or bet beers.
I'm not even a big fan of Hefeweizens either. Ugh.
So there is a Moo Thunder on the way.
Oh, guys, this got
so much wrong.
You're
so very kind.
This got so much worse. Warm. What kind?
I don't want to disappoint anyone.
No. And last time you made an ice cream float out of it. So what ice cream do you want this go around?
Oh, don't you worry about it. I already got plans.
Yes. That's just gonna be great. It's great. It was hey, look, this wasn't exciting for me to win this bet. He lied. Yep. Well, the problem is I saw it coming like a what's that Eddie Izzard quote? It collapsed like a flan in a cupboard. That's like you're
so
like,
in case people have not heard the bet that was made, or the bet that was made that Ferris lost.
Yeah, just prior to the first international break.
Essentially, Blake and Ferris were arguing over whose manager would get sacked first. And the bet was obviously Ferris thinking that Arteta would get canned first, Blake thinking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was going to get canned first. At the time,
you were fully on board with that too, Ron.
I was fully with Arteta, yes.
Yeah, it looked that way.
You know why? You guys don't trust the process.
And obviously, Arteta still has a job.
Yep.
And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is
headed back to Norway
on the long walk to Norway.
I have no desire to turn this into a video podcast, but sometimes I do wish it was. Every time I say trust the process and I see Ferris's face when I say it, his eyes make this, they speak volumes.
It's an audible eye roll.
Yeah.
Also, ask the 76ers how trust the process is going after 15 years of. Anyways,
still rebuilding. It's like the Jets.
I guess.
All right. So Ferris, you want to roll us real quick through this table?
Sure, man. Ron's Chelsea just lashing through the league. A 3-0 win against Leicester on the weekend. Another 3-0 win in the Champions League against Juventus. Not a bad week for Chelsea fans whatsoever.
Nope.
They're only 3 points, though, ahead also of Man City, who beat a very poor Everton team 3-0 on the weekend. Liverpool sit there in third. We never really mentioned West Ham, but West Ham was kind of dulled this weekend as Wolves beat them 1-0. So after West Ham's big win prior to the break against Liverpool, they dropped points there. Arsenal are in fifth. Aforementioned Wolves are in sixth. Tottenham are currently in seventh. And Manchester United in eighth. Brighton dropped all the way down to ninth. Remember when they were all up there in the top four? All the way down to ninth. And Crystal Palace, man, Vieira is doing a hell of a job there, in 10th position. Everton, Leicester, Southampton, Brentford, and Villa in that order round out the top 15. And some of these games this weekend were absolutely insane. There were 2 3-3s that occurred. I believe one was between Newcastle and Burnley as they sit 18th and 20th.
That's a wild game.
Crazy. We already know about Norwich. You sit there in 19th. Leeds sit in 17th. Watford, of course, beat United. They are in 16th. So It was Brentford, and then who was the other team? Brentford and Palace played to a 3-3 game as well. So that is your current Premier League table as of November 23rd.
One more real super quick thing to note. Outside of the top 4, there is only one team in 5th through 20th with a positive goal differential. Only one. And that's Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Every other team has a negative balance with the exception of Wolverhampton, and they have a 0 goal differential. That's insane.
Isn't it wild to see Newcastle at that bottom? Because it just didn't feel like that. I felt like they were going to, I don't know, clamber up a little bit. I know they just switched over with managers and everything, but man, they might disappear.
Very possible.
I mean, man. And then come back with all the money in the world and destroy the championship, the English champion, and just have like a ton of money. Yeah, that's going to be bizarre.
Just crazy. What a weird year for the league.
Yeah. Coming off an already weird league, I guess the rebound year we want to call this or whatever is just as weird in some ways.
Yeah.
We just happen to have crowds in the stands. All right, Ron, you got some beer news before we roll over to the MLS and NWSL playoffs?
Yeah, I got me some good beer news this pod. It's interesting and slightly a bit surprising. You guys know Bell's Brewing from Kalamazoo, Michigan, correct?
Yep. Two-Hearted Bales. What's their most popular?
Two-Hearted Pale.
Two-Hearted
Pale.
Yeah. And they're a really famous brewery in the U.S., founded by Larry Bell in 1985. He's retiring. And so he has sold his brewery. A lot of people think he sold his brewery to New Belgium. That's not actually the case.
Because they got bought.
Correct. So
by the Saudis?
It's not Newcastle.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool.
No.
Sure.
Kirin, the Kirin group of beers, owns Bell's Brewery, and they're the ones that bought it. So now the Kirin group essentially owns. Here's how this breaks down. Bell's sold to the Australian-based Little Lion World Beverages, which is owned by Japan's Kirin Beverages. So this puts Bell's Brewing under the same corporate umbrella as New Belgium Brewing, which sold to Little Lion World Beverages in 2019. So it all, we talked about it a number of pods ago, that a lot of breweries are being bought up by specific beverage companies. Well, we just lost another one to a corporate conglomerate. However, Little Lion World Beverages says that they are tucking Bell's Brewery under New Belgium Brewery, which is another reason why everyone thought they sold to New Belgium. But no staff changes or layoffs are expected, and that beer drinkers should expect no changes to Bell's current and continuing lineup. So we'll see how this plays out in the future. New Belgium has experienced a lot of growth under the Australian-based beverage company. So this might not be a terrible thing. For instance, under the Little Lion World Beverages, New Belgium has greatly expanded their Ranger IPA offerings, and they have so many different.
They have a lot of versions,
now. Yeah. So this could be a good thing for Bell's Brewing. we'll have to see. But founder Larry Bell said it's time to retire, and he's been having some health issues over the past few years, and it's kind of made it so that he's got to take a step back, which I'm sure is really hard for him. Like I said, he started this brewery out of his basement, in 1985 in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and it has been his passion.
Yeah, it's big. It's you can get Bells just about everywhere.
Yeah, and I mean that's another one of those early ones that did big too, like your Dogfish and stuff like that. In a different way, they didn't go the weird ale route, but like they're one of the OGs.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how this all goes. But in a way, I'm really sad because, again, I do feel like all the breweries that I've kind of grown up in my beer, beer education are being sold off or folding or whatever. And
being bought a lot. I mean, there's a lot of dollars and cents going around.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that the craft brewing industry is just ginormous money globally, but it's just so crazy how many are being just bought out. Like Japan's Sapporo Holdings bought out Anchor Brewing, which is probably the oldest craft brewer in the U.S. And they bought that for 2017 for like $85 or $90 million. Boston Beer Company, which, we've talked about on the pod, bought Dogfish Head, but that was, a conscious coupling so that they could stave off being bought. And then Anheuser-Busch bought Kona Brewing and Red Hook Brewing, right? So all of these breweries that we like as, kind of independent craft are all being bought up by the gigantic conglomerate. So hopefully Bell's kind of can stay on track and keep on trucking with what they've got. And so if you're in Michigan, go have a pint and at Bell's and toast to the founder, because he was a beer visionary.
Absolutely.
Ron, you said that about like breweries that you grew up on your craft brew journey through life.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorites was always Boulder Brewing, the hazy and infused.
Yeah.
And, they closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually just curious about that. I guess a guy who loved their beer and started a small brewery in Boulder himself, he put the money together and relaunched Boulder Brewing again.
Oh, did he?
You just can't. It doesn't look they're available in Florida, but they've got new cans. But I looked up Hazed and Infused, Mojo. Remember all those? Yeah, like they're all back. You said that, and it made me miss that beer, because for me, that was Boulder Brewing was very much a really getting into craft beer that I went head over heels for, and I was like,
right,
yeah, and they're gone. They weren't bought by anybody, but they just closed doors. But yeah, so that's
they were founded in like 1979 or 1980.
Yeah. What did they say? 79 is on their website here. But
good beer. Bought Little Kings?
Oh my God, that's yours, right? The Ohio one.
When we go up to
guys, it is taking so long to drink the rest of this beer because it got warmer.
Struggling.
Man,
I'm. We're gonna grab me a nightcap after this.
Good grief! Well, shall you nightcap us off with some MLS and NWSL playoff news? Other than the fact we just lost here in Orlando or in Nashville, I mean.
Yeah, I was gonna add that, but we kind of got to it, so I'll just skip it because I don't want to be. But anyways, MLS playoffs are in their first round of action, and there were 4 games on the weekend. The Union behind a 120th minute +3 wonder strike.
Ugh.
That is, okay, you play your 90, right? Now, it's win or go home. And you play another 15, take a break, and then another 15. So somewhere in they played all that. They played 120 minutes. And you add 3 on for injuries and whatnot. That's when this wonder strike by Jacob Glissons sends the Northeast club through to the quarters over the New York Red Bulls. The Union, as of today, will take on Nashville because Nashville beat Orlando City. Over in the West, Sporting KC continue to quietly be strong and steady as they are a force to reckon with in the West as they dispatch the Vancouver Whitecaps 3-1 with a wonderful rocket of a strike by Graham Zusi to help seal their place in the next round. Sporting KC is just, they're kind of like the Sounders or Portland, which we'll get to here in a bit. They just always are just quality in the West, and they always do it just so quietly. NYCFC get the job done on a baseball field as they put 2 past the team down south, Atlanta United, who did well just even make the playoffs. Because if you remember, they sacked their manager earlier in the season, and they were bottom of the East. And I don't remember the interim that came in, but has done a fantastic job to kind of get them back in the spots. And they made the playoffs, and unfortunately came across a pretty good NYCFC team who cheat because they play on a baseball field still.
Oh, drives me crazy.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But
you have to have a soccer-specific stadium in order to join the MLS.
You have to. Exactly.
No, but not unless you're Man City and can just throw. Anyways, we'll go off in tangents galore for that one. But I had to throw a little bit of shade as NYCFC and Atlanta United are both rivals of Orlando City. Sebastian Blanco, wow, what a game he had. He was by far the star of the match. Oh, yeah. 2 goals to help secure the Portland Timbers spot in the quarters against a tough Minnesota United bunch who have been playing well, who have defended well, and always play Portland tough. And actually got the first goal in the game, but just couldn't quite overcome the Timbers at home. And, Portland just one of those teams just up there in the Cascadia area that just, when it counts, they get the job done. And they're a lot of people's dark horse in this playoffs. And to finish out, you have currently number 2 versus number 7, Seattle taking on Real Salt Lake. The second half just kicked off, and it's 0-0. So the playoffs in the MLS are fully underway. And on Thanksgiving, you get a nice little treat. My Colorado Rapids, take on the Portland Timbers in a 4:00 Eastern game.
Is this Inchy's first time in the MLS playoffs?
No, I think he made it last year.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
He's done well up there, and the Loons all year have been a tough squad to beat, but you go up to Portland, very, very tough. Home field advantage, especially with fans being back in the stadium, the MLS is a big advantage to go to, and Portland at home is one of the toughest teams to beat. Over in the NWSL, that season just concluded on Saturday as they just released numbers. This was their most watched and best watched streamed on Paramount Plus, and they were also on CBS Championship. But on Saturday, the Washington Spirit won their first NWSL championship.
In style.
Style. And honestly, with the turmoil that they had at the club, it was a roller coaster of a year. Richie Burke got sacked for, what was misconduct and wrongdoing that then kind of led into the controversy that was, that halted the league there for a bit. They were going through it kind of, I don't say first, but they news was quietly breaking that this was going on with him. And then other things started to come out with other clubs, and it was just a rocky year in that aspect. But man, what a team. An acting head coach, Chris Ward, helped to carry just what a strong balance, scoring of a team in a Spirit all the way to the end. And they fully deserve to win the championship, going in third place in the playoffs, and just they had the Golden Boot. They had the assist leaders in the league, and they got the job done. And they had to come from behind as they were down 1-0. But in the second half, they got a penalty. They converted that, and then they went to extra time as well. And in the 97th minute, U.S. Women's National Team star Kelly O'Hara,
the chocolate milk goddess,
boom,
put her side ahead with a brilliant strike that eventually ended up being the game winner of a thrilling match that was fit for a championship against the Chicago Red Stars.
Did you see the passion in her celebration after she scored that? It was so great. So great.
The Spirit were a fun team to watch all year. It was absolutely that side fully deserved to win, and especially for what they went through in that roller coaster of a year, they stayed exactly how I wrote it, strong and balanced all year. And what a win, what a final. Good for the league. We can talk about the times and when they should have done it or whatnot, but to release numbers that they were up 200%, okay, cool. That's it. I'll back off of that a little bit and say that's strong. That's strong pushing forward. As you get a lot of news coming out now. The San Diego team, led by former head coach of the U.S. Women's International Team, Jill Ellis, just is over the San Diego Loyal. No. Oh Lord, who is she with? Ron, if you look that up. But they just announced their first signing. Casey Stoney, former Manchester United women's coach, is their first head coach, but they announced their first signing in Abby Dahlkemper.
Ooh, good one.
Just today. So, and then you have, Angel City FC, who announced one of my favorites, Kristen Press, is their first signing. They got their hand slapped for some tampering and news sharing stuff, but an all women's led team. You got over in Kansas City, they're building a soccer specific stadium just for women's soccer. How cool is that?
Yep. San Diego Wave FC.
Wave. San Diego Loyal are Landon Donovan's team that he head coaches.
And Jill Ellis is the president. Casey Stoney is the manager.
Correct. Yeah. So a lot going on in the WSL and a great bounce back year. And you remember, they were the first sport in the U.S. to come back during COVID.
Wow, that's right.
So very, very, good year, and excited to see where this league goes. And why don't we see how we did, gents?
I did terrible.
Didn't do great in our predictions.
We did not. Blake, for who makes the playoffs, had the Spirit, so well done. You also had Gotham FC, you had the Orlando Pride, you had Portland Thorns. I had pretty much the same. I was watching Spirit, Portland Thorns, and the Pride as well, but I added Houston Dynamo, or not Houston Dynamo, I'm sorry. Why did that name just blank on me? Dash. The Dash I thought would make the playoffs. Ron had something kind of similar. He had the Pride in Portland as well, but he also had Gotham FC and North Carolina Courage, which, they usually make it every year. But what actually happened was Portland finished first overall in the league. OL Reign finished second overall in the league. The Spirit finished third, and the Red Stars finished fourth. So both the Spirit and Red Stars beat the Reign and Thorns to advance to the final.
Yeah.
So we kind of sucked with that, and Blake and myself got 2 out of the 4 correct, and Ron got 1. MVP has not actually been determined yet, from what I can tell. However, Blake, you might be onto something. Trinity Rodman had herself a hell of a year. She led the league in assists with 7. Scored another, I think, 5 goals or something. She had herself a very, very good year. So she could be the MVP. It'll be interesting to see where they go. Not necessarily a big standout this year. So I'm going to be curious to see what they do, because Rodman could be it. Ashley Hatch could be it. Aubrey Bledsoe could be it for what she did in net for the Spirit. So, I mean, there's some option there. I had Crystal Dunn, who had a solid, okay year, and Ron had Dabinia and North Carolina Courage just never really kind of got out of first gear there. But It'd be interesting to see, and we'll update that when MVP has been announced. Golden Boot. Blake went with Trinity Rodman. Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout at all. She, as I was saying, she had herself a very good first year, and that name from her father, and there was some good posts from her as well that kind of talked about their relationship or lack thereof, but that he kind of came and saw her at I believe a playoff game, if not mistaken, and they had a good embrace. But she had herself a very, very good year, led the league in assists and just a bag full of goals for the Spirit, and was one of the driving forces that helped her get there, or helped her team get there, I should say. Now, I had Jess McDonald, who had 4 goals on the year. Not the 7 to what Rodman had, and Ron had Shea Groom, who only had 3. But it is noted, the actual Golden Boot, who I've been a big fan of and mentioned several times on this pod, and actually picked to be the Golden Boot back in 2019, Ashley Hatch was this year's Golden Boot winner with 11 goals and earned herself a call-up to the U.S. Women's National Team once again. Yeah. I think she has like 1 cap maybe. So she's over in Sydney right now and enjoying them. And she had herself a great year. I'm a big fan of her, and she has the work rate of Alex Morgan and the finesse of a shot like Kristen Perez, in my opinion. She's talented, and she put it back full in this year. So she definitely helped the Spirit get as far as they did, along with Trinity Rodman. The championship, Blake picked Portland. Hey, looky there. Ferris picked the Spirit. And Ron picked Portland.
Nah.
Spirit won.
Close.
Spirit, baby. Called him from the start. Good year. We talked a lot about him. It could be very exciting to see where this league goes next season. But that...
and a championship on CBS. Big deal. Even though we didn't like the time, still.
Agreed.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, I had to check real quick. Reviews for this beer are really good. People say that you can't have more than one. I agree with that part. I don't think I'd ever get another one of these again. It's not.
What was the name of it again?
It's not a Moose Thunder. Well, here's our beer review. So mine was the O'Fallon Brewery, the Maple Bacon Pumpkin Spiced Red Ale.
Say that again?
You heard it. O'Fallon Brewery. O with an apostrophe. O apostrophe Fallon. Fallon. Maple Bacon Pumpkin Spiced Red Ale. I was really surprised when I looked and saw the reviews are so good.
Why did they do it as a red ale?
I don't know, man.
Like a porter or a stout.
It's feeling funky. But that was my beer of the pod. What was yours again, Ron? From Trogue?
Mine was the Perpetual IPA from Trogue's Imperial Pale Ale.
And Ferris?
And I had the Rake Imperial IPA out of Angry Chair Brewing in Tampa, Florida.
Boom. You guys did well this go round. You won this one. I did not. Even though the reviews are pretty good. It's just a little too much, I think, going on with this one. So that's our Beers the Pod that we had. As always, thank you for listening. Follow us along at thebrutifulgame.com. Check us out on Untapped, where you will see all the reviews and different beers we get into. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those places. You can find us all those places. We have a Tumblr. We don't do anything with it, but it exists. I think every time I post a pod, it pops a page up there. I don't know. Does anyone use Tumblr anymore? I don't know what the kids use.
I don't know.
The kids use the TikTok, and we ain't got one of those yet.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That was my oop. That's my limit. That's the age limit when I go. That's the one. Nope. I've stopped there. I'm not going to learn anything else.
Yeah.
Yep. There it is. Well, gents, that was a pleasure. Glad we could all get on the horn this week before we start getting into Turkey Day. Is that it? Does that wrap us up?
That's it.
So, all right. The only thing I have is weird news of the day.
Uh-oh.
Glass coffins. A new fad. Do you think glass coffins will be a success? I know it's kind of a dark subject, but do you think Clash Conference will be a success. Remains to be seen. These also wish it was a video pod when I see Ferris's face.
Not one of you. Not one of your worst. I mean, one of your worst, but in a good way, I should say. That's okay.
We got to come up with a rating system.
Yeah, we do. Worst, terrible, horrid.
We got to get another one of those books where we flip through and randomly pick a dad joke of the day.
No.
Okay.
Not we, you.
Yeah, because that was pretty good. Come on, that was good. Remains to be seen.
Yeah. It's
you didn't laugh.
Yeah.
Nice little play on words.
No, not really.
Remains to be seen is it will actually be on people's airwaves or not really turn us off before.
Exactly. That's why we do it at the end of the pod, not the beginning. All right, gentlemen. I
force you to listen to it.
I'm going to raise this funky beer to you guys one last time for this episode. Woohoo! Love the beer. Cherish the game. The Brewtiful Game. Cheers.
Glory, Man United. Holy, no longer at the wheel.
Moo Thunder on the way.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Hee-haw, hee-haw.